Welcome to Hotline TV, everybody. I'm John Mercurio.
And I'm Amy Walter. All right, the big news today, of course, everybody's talking about where in the world is Mark Sanford.
I'm not talking about it.
No, he's not. But wouldn't you rather know where he should be? Of course, in this case, the answer is in range of a cell phone tower, and hopefully not naked.
So true.
Since
Hopefully
it is
not naked.
Naked hiking weekends on the Appalachian Trail.
Yes, it is.
Today we're actually going to do Carmen Sandiego one better.
Pause for the visual.
Yes. Ow.
And then go. Okay, sorry, go.
I burned my corneas. All right.
Okay.
We're going to do Carmen Sandiego one better and tell you where in the world these politicians should be. Should be.
I like
All
the
right?
game. I like the game.
All right. Let's start with
San
number
Francisco Mayor Gavin Newsom. Well, of course, the big news yesterday, Los Angeles Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa announced on CNN's Situation Room that he will not run for governor, leaving LA.
He's dreaming the dream. He wants LA voters to dream the dream,
with him, right? Leaving LA and basically Southern California up for grabs in the Democratic gubernatorial primary. Gavin Newsom, if he wants to make a bid for that, really needs to be on the next plane.
That vacuum has to
LAX.
get filled because everybody's going to try to figure out who gets in there. You see Jerry Brown already saying, I've lived in LA. Of course, he lived there in the 60s.
But he's still ahead in the polls.
It's true.
He's still ahead, at least.
And it goes to the real big toss-up here, which is the Latino vote. And will there be a Latino candidate that jumps in? If you're Newsom, you got to get down there and show that you can run outside the Bay Area.
Loretta Sanchez, you think she runs? Do you think she jumps into this race? No.
No.
Okay. All right. Well.
I really don't. But it would be fun to watch.
It would be really
Would she
fun
bring
to
her
watch.
cat?
Oh, that's a very good question. Would she
The cat
burn
vote.
her cat? That's the question.
All right.
And anybody who has ever received a Christmas card from her knows what we're talking about. Moving right along.
All right. What about Arlen Specter?
Where should Arlen Specter be? Well, clearly you're gonna have a race. He's gonna have a Democratic primary against Joe Sestak. Sestak made that very clear yesterday. I guess what was it on Crossfire, Situation Room, whatever one of those.
Crossfire. He hasn't even been on TV in like 15 years.
Hardball.
Wow. That's great.
Wow, I'm old. Very old. Tucker Carlson, big friend of the show. That was just a quick shout out to our friends.
Remember when it was Mary Matlin and Dee Dee Myers?
But we digress.
Okay, sorry.
But we digress. Right. Hardball. Anyway, Joe Sestak running. What Specter needs to do, Amy, is what? I'm going to throw that right back at you.
You are going to throw it back. He just needs to plop himself down in those Pennsylvania suburbs, which is also where Sestak's from, and say, I own you, Pennsylvania suburbs.
Ouch.
I own you. If he can do well in that part. Now, nobody also, if he were smart, then he would also plop himself down in Pittsburgh. Sestak has zero name ID out there.
I would think
but
he'd
that's
want to
more
plop
traditional.
himself down in Pittsburgh. Sestak has the Delaware County base. You
Yeah,
would think.
but Specter's from there.
Well, they both.
If Sestak can't break out in Philly,
Right.
he's not going anywhere.
All right. Good point. Very, very, very good point. All right. Our next candidate for where should he or she be? Florida governor and 2010 Senate candidate Charlie Crist.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Marco Rubio right now, you win a straw poll. Granted, I'm not putting a lot of stock in straw polls at this point in the cycle, in Pasco County or whatever. But it does go to show that Charlie Crist needs to make sure he is making his rounds. Rubio is one of these candidates. There's a long time between now and the primary,
Sure.
And you can see Rubio starting to, build grassroots, build some name ID among the activists, raise some money. He can get in there long enough to start giving Crist some problems. If I were Crist, I would start doing the retail campaigning.
We did see Rubio sort of a little bit of a misfire. His tweet yesterday about how Iranians need a Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. I think that might play well to his very conservative base in the party. But in Florida, you do have a relatively influential, moderate voice in the Republican Party. That I think that kind of comment could backfire. I think Crist, you're right. I think Crist needs to be down there. He needs to be in places like Pasco County. I don't put a lot of stock in straw polls either. But this was Pasco County. It was a place that Crist considered part of his base, very close to where he grew up, or very close to where he considers his residential base. And I think it's not just any straw poll. It's one that really we should have seen Crist do much better. And so I think you're right. I think the place that Crist should not be right now is up in Washington.
No, he's got to show he's doing his work at home.
On the Senate floor. You've got a budget crisis in Florida.
All right, and finally, where should Judge Sotomayor be spending her time?
Judge Sotomayor might want to get a watch. She might want to be showing up on time for her meetings with senators. She had a meeting yesterday with Senator Bob Corker from Tennessee. And she was so late for that meeting that Corker got up and left. He said, I don't mean to be offensive to the next Supreme Court justice, but I have things to do, so he left. And obviously not a big deal necessarily, but it did come right before Senate Republicans began their floor speeches trying to make the case against Sonia Sotomayor, again, probably fighting a losing argument.
What if they found out that she broke her other ankle while she was running to get there? That would be bad.
Backfire.
That would be bad. It would.
Well, that would backfire.
That would.
On them. But as our producers have reminded us since the beginning of this show, we are now out of time, and we can no longer talk to you, unfortunately, today. But until next time, I'm John Mercurio. Thanks for watching.
And I'm Amy Walter. We'll see you next time on Hotline TV. Wrap it up, John.